Hi guys, if you're watching the replay, hello. Hi you guys, I just wanted to do this. I thought it'd be fun. I haven't, again, I'm like not on the Instagram game lately, so I thought it'd be fun to just like say hi, answer questions. Yeah, there's no like, I have a plan. I just was like, let's chat, let's do questions. Tell Chris we said hello. He did our Cavalier 1 year Nutcracker. I will. Ciao from Italy. Hi from New York. Hi from Australia. Croatia. Wow, took your master class last year in New York. Amazing. 4 inches of snow. Ooh, stay warm, please. Do you ever do master classes across the country? We'd love to have you here in Arizona. Working back up to doing more of those. So yes, I've done many in the past. Love to do more. Yeah, people just have to ask. I'd be happy to. What would your advice be for a dancer who just got into her first big company as an apprentice? Fantastic, congratulations. Apprentice year can often feel like the training wheels come off. So you really need to go into every rehearsal prepared, go into every rehearsal also like one at a time, because oftentimes with apprentices, you're going to learn everything. You're going to be learning every single part and you might not even have a spot, and it's just kind of like it's complete chaos. But also they don't treat you like a student anymore. I feel like sometimes when the students are in a company and they often have to wear their uniform or whatnot, they're very well taken care of. Apprentices, as far as the company's concerned, you're a company member. In terms of how they view you, you might not be on the pay scale, it might be a little bit different of a level in terms of logistics, but it's like the training wheels are off. So make sure you come prepared, make sure you take care of your body, make sure your brain turns on every rehearsal, because that can be overwhelming. I remember my apprentice year learning like 4 different spots in Serenade and like, where am I? So just literally take one day at a time, take care of yourself. For us, we had to be in company class because they want to see you. So make sure you're in company class every day. That's huge. And enjoy it. Don't forget to enjoy it. That's why you're there. That's why you're there. Hello from Minnesota. Fantastic. But that was a great question. How do I cope when I feel like I'm not improving? Remember, it's one day at a time. Remember, your muscles in class are always doing their job and getting stronger. So even if you feel like, oh, I've been in class 47 days in a row and it's not working, you're actually developing muscle memory. So even if you can't see it, the work is being done. Also know that, depending on how life is going, depending on how your moods are, mentally can affect you in the studio. So even if mentally you feel like you're not there, even just going and taking class when you don't feel like it, you're developing the habits in your muscles. You're developing the strength in your legs. And then remember, progress is not this way. Oftentimes it's like, it's not linear, or diagonal. So you just kind of have to, again, go with the flow and know that even just being in class, you're improving. Kind of do that. When judging YAGP, what did you look for in every variation? For me, I didn't care how many pirouettes you did. I cared how you did them. So when I'm judging, it's quality over quantity. Musicality, that's a big one. Sort of the same idea. If you can't be on the music, I really don't care how many turns you did. How you even walked out on stage. Dancers, so many of us judges start judging you the minute you enter the stage, before you even start dancing. How did you walk out? Did you place your feet? Are you on a high demi-pointe? Are the heels forward? It's the details, it's the quality, it's the musicality. It's never the turns, it's never the legs. It's just all that in-between stuff. That's what's important to me as a judge, and to many of the company directors who are going to hire you. Your analysis of the winners of the Prix de Lausanne was a game changer for me in terms of getting a better understanding of the ballet world. Thank you. I featured your video in my first newsletter. Amazing. Thank you. Yeah, the contemporary round's coming tomorrow. I did do the contemporary round. I love the picture behind you. Thank you. Florence, Italy. We went on our honeymoon to Italy. So Somebody asked, how's my ballet burnout doing? And then Jillian asked, how to deal with ballet burnout as an adult dancer. I enjoy it, but sometimes I feel like there's no point in spending so much time practicing if I won't become a professional. Okay, this is a fantastic question. First of all, my burnout is getting better. I think taking a step back on the dancing, taking a step back on some of the teaching is helping. And I think what's really exciting me right now are the things like doing the commentaries, doing the analysis, kind of building community rather than just teaching. So that's helpful. So it's better. As an adult, it's hard because yes, there is no, like you said, there's no professional end game. I think for everybody, regardless of where you are in your ballet journey, whether or not you want to go pro or not, is remembering why you did it in the first place. Why did you sign up for the class? Why did you start ballet? Was it the music? Was it the movement? Was it the feeling? That ultimately is why you're there. Not necessarily the wearing the tiara. Because what does the tiara give you? Oh, it makes me feel beautiful. Well, can you feel beautiful in the studio? Can you feel beautiful doing bar? So you can get the same feeling as being on stage in the pro with the tiara and all the stuff, even in class. And that's for everybody. So what is that like ultimate thing that made you start? Oh, I feel beautiful. Oh, I love the music. And where can you find that in class? Where can you find that in life? And that can sometimes help you get out of the burnout rut in your head. I'm a junior and stressing about starting to apply for colleges because I want to major in dance with a concentration in ballet. Do you have any specific colleges you think are good, or do you have any tips? Fantastic. I mean, there's so many good programs now. The obvious ones, North Carolina School of the Arts, Indiana University, Butler, University of, I believe it's in South Carolina. It's in Columbia, South Carolina, USC. Who else? There's so many of them now. It used to be literally Indiana and Butler, and that was it. So Cincinnati has a great one. One of our students went to Cincinnati. Hi, Kyla. There's so many options now. University of Utah, fantastic program. So, and I will say those programs, because there are so many now and because there are so many good ones now, they want to treat you guys like pros. So it's not just I'm going to college for dance. No, you're going to college for dance. So view it as a company situation. View it as, okay, I am going to focus on my technique and I'm going to present myself well. I'm going to get my resume together, because ultimately too, with these programs, so many of dancers then go on to become professionals, or even if they don't, it sets themselves up for another professional career in something. So start viewing it as that. I think the nice thing about this day and age, this is for everybody, college or professional company, if you're going to film an audition video, you're going to film it once. You might as well send it to everybody, right? So if you're doing this, especially if you're doing this by video audition, film it once, send it to everybody. Have options. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, companies as well. Do as many auditions as you can. Do as many submissions as you can. And that's the beauty of the video audition. So really just send it out, see what options you have, and then do your research and go from there. But really, I'm telling you, these programs, they really are good, and they take it very, very seriously. And I see a lot of dancers make that mistake. So take them seriously. They're fantastic. Also, you guys, another thing I wanted to mention while we're on here, I have a lot of actually college kids do either one of my intensives. I have the Kathryn Morgan Summer Intensive at Dance Academy Southern California. That's pre-professional, ages 10 to 19, the last 2 weeks of July. No audition required. Just send a video and I'll place you and come spend 2 glorious weeks with us. And I have my adult retreat, but we only have 5 spots left for the adult retreat. That is the first week of July at Dance Academy of Southern California. So that one is 18 and up. So you kind of have options, but yeah, if you really want to get 2 more good solid weeks of dancing, come do the summer intensive, ages 10 to 19. I've actually had a couple 20-year-olds here and there take it. So, yeah, last 2 weeks of July. I'm a contemporary dancer applying for companies right now. Some companies want ballet bar in the audition video. Would you suggest filming from the front or the side? I would go from the side. I know that's not ideal. However, when you're going from the side, they can really get a sense of your 𝐵𝐺𝐻𝐻𝐿, right? If you're going from the front and I'm using my 𝐵𝐺𝐻𝐻𝐿, they're getting the side of my face, right? You can actually see more from the side view. Some dancers even do it on a diagonal, which is good. I actually personally wouldn't do it face on because they totally miss your arabesque and they totally miss your front. They're only really seeing your leg side. So personally, any audition videos, if you have to do bar, go diagonal or directly where they're viewing you from the side so they can see your 𝐵𝐺𝐻𝐻𝐿. As a postmenopausal woman, I feel like I'm losing muscle tone so fast. Should I supplement my ballet classes with lifting weights at the gym too? Oh, for sure. Why not? So many pros actually now have gone to doing weight training, doing some different kinds of gym workouts. Who is it? 𝐵𝐺𝐻𝐿 Prouty works with a lot of the New York City Ballet dancers. If you see like Sarah Mearns or Janelle Manzi, I think even Mary Elizabeth Sell, like a lot of them on their Instagram are working with him and they're doing like, it's in ballet positions, but it is very much like gym workouts to supplement the ballet. And actually, I think it's very, very important to not just do ballet. I think you need to balance it out because ballet works different muscles. For example, whenever I try and like walk a lot, like if we're somewhere and I walk a lot, or, you know, we're like even try and run, which never happens, but like you'll see there's you're like, oh, that's a muscle that I don't usually work in ballet. So it's actually very good to supplement. Any tips for overcoming fear of turning on pointe? Yeah, think of it as a passe balance that happens to go around. Don't think of it as a turn. Think of it as I'm going to find that position and snap my head around. And actually, it's getting comfortable with the 𝐵𝐵𝐻𝐿𝐵𝐻𝐿 at bar, making sure those are solid. And then when you're in the center, it's letting yourself do it. I see so many people psych themselves out, and instead of doing the relevé and committing to the turn, they go like this, and it doesn't work. So turning on pointe, you have to set yourself up at bar, obviously. Strong ankles, strong passe balance. But in the center, you have to trust the technique. You can't just like get up and hope for the best. Commit to it, trust the technique, nice and tall, hold your passe balance, and go around. Think of it that way instead of I have to turn. Okay. I love you so much. Oh, you're so sweet. Is it possible to go, oh, I lost it. Is it possible to go from being slightly above average at 15 to making it in the professional world? Oh, I think so. I think everybody has a different path. Honestly, you guys, the era of baby ballerina, which has kind of ended with my era where we were all hired at, 16, 17, like, and doing principal roles, then that's not really a thing. It's not really a thing. It was a very rare thing. Don't let that throw you. I feel like sometimes that's what, like, all the socials and the media, all it's like, oh, hired at 17. It's not really a thing anymore. Like, the baby ballerina era is over. Nowadays, what makes this difficult is nowadays you have to basically do, okay, professional training division. Okay, then it's a training program. Then it's such and such ballet 2. Then it's this, that, and the other thing, which is also going back to our previous question, why doing the college route still works, because it's about the same length of time. You do pre-professional trainee, second company, or you do 4 years at a college dance program. Now you're at the same age to be hired by a company. So companies are hiring dancers a little bit older now. 19, 20, I see some dancers get hired at 21, 22, 23. So this whole thing of like, I'm an apprentice at 16 and doing things at 17, it's not a thing anymore. So yes, all that to say, you have time. You have so much time. It's such a process now. Company directors are also wanting to hire dancers a little bit older and more mature, so they know they can take care of themselves and throw them in the deep end right away. So you already know how to be an adult. I think a lot of companies are not hiring anybody who's still in high school. I think that also is not a thing. So yeah, you have time. You know, the very famous story of Misty Copeland starting at 13, you know, so it everybody's journey is different. Everybody's age is different. It really depends on you. And so it's a longer process now as well, which makes it more doable in terms of age of when you start. Should you pick a contract at a super well-respected and famous company where you are likely to stay in the core, or one that's not as well known where you are quite likely to be promoted? That is one of the best questions in the world. Good job, Rachel. Okay, here's the thing. This is the thing that dancers struggle with. Oh, I want to be in, let's say, ABT. Do I go for the ABT where I'm probably not going to get out of the core? You don't know that, by the way. But, you know, or do I go for a smaller regional company where I think I have a chance to dance? First of all, that's entirely up to you. Second of all, I encourage you not to limit yourself in terms of your brain. So some dancers are determined, I'm only going to do ABT, I'm only going to do city ballet, I'm only going to do whatever. And that also limits you. So many of those particular dancers who initially didn't get into the big famous company went on to have even more spectacular careers in another company. So again, everybody's journey is different. What I advise you to do is do the most auditions you can. And honestly, dancers, if it's your first year, take something. Take anything. If you get a contract with a company, take it. If you get multiple offers, then you have options. Because this is why you have to get in the door. You have to get in the door. Because let's say you take a smaller company contract. Great. Now you're in the professional world. Now you have the option to contact companies directly. Hi, I'm in the core of company. And I'm interested in whatever other company. Can I come take class? Directors are so much more likely to personally chat with you, to personally invite you to take company class if you're already on contract with someone else. Because it means you've already been hired, and in their brain it means, oh, they're already good enough because I know they already have a contract somewhere else. The floating in between companies, great. People do it all the time. Directors love it. Like, let's just use, okay, let's say I'm at P&B and I want to go audition for Houston, or I'm at Richmond Ballet and I want to go audition for OBT. That company director is going to say, oh, they're in the core at P&B. Oh, they're in the core at Richmond. That carries far more weight than if you're a dancer that has yet to get your first company contract. So it helps you just get in the door. So do as many auditions as you can. And if you want to do this as a career and you get a contract, take it. Take it no matter what it is. Even if it's not your dream company, take it. For example, Chris, my husband, he did however many auditions his first year. I think it was like 13, 15. I'll have to ask him. And he got Ballet West 2. And he was like, well, I've heard of them. They're a good company. I don't know if it's my dream company or not, but that's what I got. I'm going to take it. He got in, and it actually ended up being the perfect place for him, and he became a first soloist and had a 15-year career there. Even if it wasn't his dream company, he stayed. Some dancers do, oh, I'm going to take this, and I got 2 years of performing under my belt, 2 years of living the company life under my belt. Now I feel really ready. I'm going to re-audition for all the other places. I already have a title behind me, core dancer with, the directors take you far more seriously. So long answer, but if you want to do this, just get in the door. Just get in the door. Okay. I just started Pointe. Any advice? Congratulations, Emily. That's fantastic. Take your time. Take your time. I just put my babies, I call them my babies, they're not babies, but I just put my class on Pointe about a month ago. And, you know, we're doing all the releves. We're doing the bar thing. They're like, when can we turn? I'm like, not yet. And I can see the, like, because they're so young, I can see the, like, when are we going to do things? But you just have to trust the process. They've already gotten so much stronger. I don't want to push them to do anything they're not ready for. It's so dangerous. Because again, if you take your time, once you get to the turns, once you get to anything else, it's going to be so much faster. It is so much harder to go back and fix bad habits. So make sure you take your time. Make sure you trust your teacher, trust the process, trust the training, because ultimately it is worth the slow process. What is the best way to improve in your own time without private lessons and corrections to improve when you're actually in class? Another fantastic question. Rebecca, beautiful. This is going to sound so cliche. I'm sure you've heard this before. Take every correction as your own. It is true. When you're in class, if a teacher gives somebody else a correction, somewhere in your own dancing, you can apply the same thing. Even if it's not a literal, like, whatever the thing is. Oh, I want to think about that in wherever. Because there's so many verbal cues as a teacher that you'll give. So it's really just about listening. It's about paying attention. It's about doing things correctly and not, I'm sure you've heard this too, don't sacrifice placement for height. Don't sacrifice musicality for an extra turn. So it's, again, it's kind of like the Pointe thing, trusting the process, doing the work, doing it properly. Alignment is everything, because once you're in alignment, it helps everything else. So I would start focusing on that mostly, because if your alignment's correct, your turnout will improve, your extensions will improve, your turns will improve, like everything improves. So it's really just being correct and not letting, you know, Dolly Dinkle next to you, who's like trying to get her leg up, to throw you. And it's just being very much in your own body, in your own space, doing your thing, and trying not to get caught up in what everybody else is doing, with the exception of what the teacher is telling everybody else. So don't let everybody else's dancing throw you, but still listen to their corrections. I've been on Pointe for almost 3 years. No Pointe shoe seems to be working for me because I've been told my feet are hard to fit. Any advice? That's always tricky because, you know, Pointe shoes are their own weird fitting system anyway. If you haven't done it already, and if this is an option to you, I would look at getting a second opinion. Maybe go to a different fitter. Maybe, you know, see if you can do a virtual with Josephine. Josephine still do virtual? I don't know. Hi, Joe. But like, just get a second opinion. I think sometimes having that in your head, oh, my feet are hard to fit, can make fitting difficult. Basically, any shoe can work so long as the sizing is right. So the sizing can be what's weird. You might have like 2 different size feet. So if that's the case, they have those, I think Gainer makes them, I think somebody else makes them, the Pointe shoe box liners. That's what they're called, box liners. Box liners can eat up space on the smaller foot, so you don't have to get 2 different shoes. So I would just advise you to maybe get a second opinion and focus on size first, because if it's too small or too big or too wide or too narrow, no matter what brand you're in, it's not going to work. So size, do the size first. Don't worry about what shoe it is. Just get something that fits you in that terms of that, rather than worrying about block, 𝐂𝐵𝐲, And then ask for a box liner if you have 2 different size feet. That will help tremendously. Okay. Any tips for checking your own technique? I can't get to any classes, so I solely take your online classes and started a couple years ago completely from scratch. Oh, thank you. That can be tricky. And as awful and as not fun as this sounds, film yourself. Film yourself, film yourself, film yourself. Because even if you're new to ballet, you're gonna have some idea of when you're like, that looks weird, or that looks wrong, or oh, I didn't know I was doing that. Because remember, especially with something like turns or the side view, you can't really see yourself in real time. So film yourself, slow motion it, not fun. But the more you can kind of get past, oh, I don't want to see myself on camera, or I don't want to whatever. If you can film yourself and start checking your technique, that's going to be huge for you. My technique improved when I started doing YouTube videos because I was like, oh, I had no idea I was doing that, you know. So if you can get past the ego trip, because it is not fun, and start filming yourself and viewing it objectively, if you can watch yourself on a video, you're going to see so many things you had no idea. So that would be, especially if you can't get to a studio with a teacher, film yourself. Do you think you would still go the SAB route nowadays? Sorry. Okay, here's the thing. The SAB route. And if you're not a dancer, the SAB route, excuse me, voice, hello. Basically, the SAB route is the balancing route. Here's what, whether or not you want to talk about the technique or the stylized or whatnot, anybody that attends SAB has it on their resume. And, you have to remember too, you guys, the ballet world is so small. It's so small. So anybody at SAB, all the directors talk all the time. Oh, well, this person's not, and even in my year, well, you're not right for City Ballet, but let me call up Peter Bowl, and I don't even know if it was Peter Bowl this time, but at PMB, and get you an audition, and that person is now a soul, so they're all very like this in terms of the balancing route. And most company directors are tight as well. So if you want to do a lot of heavy balancing in terms of a company or in terms of rep, it's not a bad way to go. I also encourage students to not go to SAB too early. Sometimes with SAB, if you go too early, you kind of get lost in the shuffle in later years. I think I was very happy with my placement, and then I went at 16 and then did 2 years and then got in the company. In full transparency, I saw a lot of dancers who went at 13 or 14. By the time they got to 18, they'd been there for 5 years and got lost in the shuffle with all the shiny new toys. So there's that. Again, I haven't been there years. I don't know what the system is, but I do know that if you want to dance balancing, it's a great route to take. However, there's so many great schools now too. PNB is a fantastic school. San Francisco is a fantastic school. All of them. And they're all connected. They all talk. And again, don't put all your eggs in one basket. I wanted to dance balancing. I wanted to be in New York City Ballet. That's why I wanted to go to SAB. So again, it's a personal choice. But if you choose the SAB route, still know that even if City Ballet doesn't work out, they all talk. There's other schools that teach balancing, and they're all connected. So, yeah. Let's do one more question today, and then we will do this again. 2 more questions. You have online classes, Kathryn. Yes, I do. KMandFriends.com. I have some guest faculty on there now. Sean's teaching a bunch for me. So, yes, I do. Is it better to go with the summer intensive with housing already included, or go with the one with a small scholarship, but I have to find my own housing? Both great programs. That's an entirely personal choice. I would encourage you to crunch some numbers, because housing is a whole separate charge for some summer programs and can get very expensive. So do the math. So is it like, okay, if actually housing's included in this price, is that less expensive than the one with the scholarship? Find out how much housing would be for that. Subtract it. You know what I mean? Like sometimes housing included is actually more of a deal than the small scholarship. So it really depends on you. It depends on your family's financial situation. It depends on what works best. But crunch the numbers. If they're both great programs, also maybe go with the one with your gut. You know, oh, this this is where I really feel pulled towards. So totally up to you. Okay. That's all for today, y'all. We'll do this again. Maybe we'll do this next Sunday. I don't know. Maybe it'll be a thing. But I love answering your questions. I hope it's helpful. I try and be as transparent as possible. This will go up on my profile if you want to watch it again. And I hope you guys have a fantastic Sunday. Thanks for just hanging out. Thanks for hanging out. Finn says hi. Hang on. Field trip. Finn says hi. In his bed. There you go. Anyway, bye you guys. See you soon.